Today we're going to talk about if Hendrick Motorsports has peaked or not. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to another video. Through about basically the first 15 or 16 races of the year, Hendrick Motorsports has been the class of the field. So far, Hendrick Motorsports has picked up 10 victories this year. So far, 4 with Kyle Larson this year. Alex Bowman has picked up 3 victories, 1 coming for William Byron and 2 coming for Chase Elliott. Larson was really dominant for quite a bit. Technically won 4 or 5 straight races in a row. Hendrick Motorsports had a 6-race win streak. But over the last 4 weeks, Hendrick Motorsports only scored 1 victory coming at Road America. And some of the most glaring things, Kyle Larson has not led a single lap in the last 4 races. Though Kyle Larson has shown pretty good speed overall, Kyle Larson has not been the class of the field like he had been for a very long time. Alex Bowman has shown quite a bit of speed. He's had a couple top 10s. He's only had one finish inside the top 10 recently, but he has not had winning speed. William Byron's best finish in the last 4 races is 12th. Granted, Road America, he had issues late in the race, but as he overdriving the corner, he had one of the cars to beat in the race, could have contended for the victory with Chase Elliott, if not for that issue. But he's really not been as fast. And also have to remember Pocono, he had issues there as well. And I think Chase Elliott has arguably been the best Hendrick driver over the last few weeks. He's shown a lot of speed and shown a lot of promise throughout. And I think the most glaring things to note, and we take a look at Atlanta and New Hampshire. At Atlanta Motor Speedway, Kyle Larson had one of the better cars. Did not have the best car, but had a top 5 car. And Alex Bowman also had a top 5 car. But Hendrick was a little bit slower in that race as well. And then this past weekend, a couple weeks ago in New Hampshire, Hendrick Motorsports looked like they had probably about 5th to 10th place cars. And the Fords and even Toyotas looked a little bit faster than them in the race. So why do I think that Hendrick Motorsports has fallen off? And do I think Hendrick Motorsports has peaked? And do I think that they showed their stuff a little bit too soon? Honestly, I do not think so. And here's why I think about it. Historically, throughout Hendrick Motorsports' NASCAR career, they seem to always kind of struggle during the summer. A perfect example is year 2007. In 2007, Hendrick Motorsports scored 18 victories, 10 for Jimmy Johnson, I believe 6 for Jeff Gordon, 1 for Casey Mears, and 1 for Kyle Busch. However, in 2007, despite winning half the races that year, they did not win a single race from Michigan in 2007, the 15th race to race number 24 at Bristol. You had drivers like Carl Edwards who scored victories. You had Tony Stewart score victories at the time. You had a couple other drivers that were able to win races at the time. So to me, in my honest opinion, I do not think that even back then, they were struggling. So honestly, I do think that NASCAR getting involved a little bit more in Hendrick Motorsports might have a little bit of factor to why Hendrick Motorsports overall is struggling. But I do think that they are not bringing their best stuff to the track right now. And you also have to remember a couple of tracks. Atlanta Motor Speedway, the last time Hendrick Motorsports won was about 4 or 5 years ago. Yes, they've been good at that track, and they honestly were on the way to winning Atlanta Motor Speedway in 2020, but it's been a while. And then everyone kind of looks at New Hampshire and says, oh, I think that the Penske cars are faster than them right now. I think the JGR cars are faster. You have to understand that while this track is very similar to Phoenix International Speedway, Hendrick Motorsports has not won at New Hampshire International Speedway since the year 2012 with Casey Kane. And they really have not been as fast at a track like New Hampshire. Granted, drivers before like Jimmy Johnson have won that track quite a few times. You've had Jeff Gordon win there quite a few times. But you look at Hendrick historically, they've never really been that great in New Hampshire. So it really did not surprise me one bit that Hendrick Motorsports struggled at New Hampshire. And I've seen a lot of people comparing it because of New Hampshire. But let's be honest, if you look at historical context of Hendrick Motorsports at New Hampshire, they're never really that great. So that's one reason why I don't think that they think. Again, I don't think they've overall have peaked. I do think that they have let the field catch up a little bit, but I don't think that they're bringing their best up. I also think there's a lot more deep details that meets the eye. Apparently, they've been trying a lot of experimental setups of the track, trying to see what they can do there. Because I don't really think they have anything to lose at this point. I mean, all 4 of their cars are currently in the playoffs at the moment. Kyle Larson has a ton of playoff points. He honestly could win the regular season championship and get at least 15 more playoff points. But he's going to have to beat Denny Hamlin, but he's like 10 points away from passing Denny Hamlin when we go back racing in a couple weeks. So I think that Hendrick Motorsports, in my opinion, I personally do not think Hendrick Motorsports has peaked. I really don't think they have. I mean, I am a huge Hendrick Motorsports fan, and I look at their summer stretch and their summer parts. Yes, they also, sorry about the penalty a little bit as well. They did get a penalty where Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman got pretty big infractions due to engine problems, and that could hurt the momentum of the team going forward. But what is the next race for Hendrick Motorsports? Watkins Glen. Who's been good the last 2 years at the track? Times he's been at the track? Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott is one of the last 2 times we've been there, so I'm really not too worried about Hendrick Motorsports going forward. They got Indy Road Course. Chase Elliott's also good, probably going to be really, really fast there as well. Michigan will probably go to someone else because Hendrick Motorsports, maybe Kyle Larson will be up there contending for the victory because Kyle Larson's won there a couple times, I think 2 or 3 times in a row, if I'm not mistaken. 2016 fall and both of the 2017 race as well. He was able to win those races for Chip Ganassi Racing, all those coming for Chip Ganassi Racing. He was able to overall win those races. But that being said, I personally don't think that they have beat. I do think as we get closer to the end of the year, I think that Hendrick Motorsports will be back at top. And also, Hendrick Motorsports can honestly have a lot more victories right now than y'all think. Think back to Daytona 500. Hendrick Motorsports right now could have won the 500 if they would have kept it green. He was second. Chase Elliott was second at time and could have won that. Daytona Road Course, Chase Elliott has the win in the bag and basically threw a caution, a safety caution. And honestly, I think they were a little bit more cautious at the time, which I think was a little bit more smart at the time than when we think about it. But basically, it would cause a lot of crashes, and Chase Elliott unfortunately gets spun out. And then Kyle Larson, who was on the verge of maybe running down Joe Logano and Christopher Bell, he unfortunately crashed late in the race and spun out there. At Darlington for the throwback race, Kyle Larson was catching Martin Truex Jr. Martin Truex Jr. overall had the best car, but he was catching Martin Truex Jr. at that point. The next one, Kansas. Kyle Larson has the best car all day long, and unfortunately some really bad restarts unfortunately cost Kyle Larson a really good opportunity to win that race. You know, there's a lot of races this year that, and Hendrick Motorsports could probably have 15 or 16 victories right now if you're thinking about. Bristol's another one that comes to mind. Alex Bowman basically loses a cylinder in the race, and he has to basically run around the track throughout the day. He had a top 5 car, and he was really, really fast. Really looked like he was going to be a really fast car throughout the day, but he had issues. And Kyle Larson, who was the favorite going into that event, unfortunately crashed when Christopher Bell got sideways into the corner and collected Larson when Larson having nowhere to go. If Kyle Larson doesn't have to go to the rear for that infraction and that engine change due to basically overheating, Kyle Larson probably runs away with the thing and wins the race at Bristol Dirt, which I would really, really like. So to me, I think a lot of people are looking at it a little bit too difficult because a lot of people think, oh, because Hendrick Motorsports has not been winning the last 2 weeks, oh, they have peaked. Historically, look at their summer stretches. They're not as good in the summer stretch as a lot of people think. And even they've done better now when it comes to their usual summer stretches than normal. Even last year in 2020, they kind of struggled in the summer. But they came on really, really strong at the playoffs. Alex Bowman and Chase Elliott gained the most points in the playoffs, and 2 of their guys made it to the final 8, and Chase Elliott ended up winning the championship last year. So I absolutely think that Hendrick Motorsports is still a championship contender. Now, how many cars do I think make the playoffs personally in 2022? Honestly, I think Hendrick Motorsports, we're going to see potentially at least 2, maybe even 3 of the cars make it. I think Alex Bowman is known to clutch. I think he can make the Final 4. I think Chase Elliott, if he gets a win at the Roval and wins Martinsville again, and he has a lot of playoff points too right now, he can also win a couple more races going forward as well. Kyle Larson has so many playoff points, and there's a lot of good tracks in the playoffs. Kyle Larson was really, really good at Darlington. Kyle Larson is really, really good at Las Vegas. Kyle Larson is also good at the Charlotte Roval historically. So I think Kyle Larson will have a lot of speed. And William Byron, I think, needs to pick up a little bit of consistency. He's the one I'm overall a little bit more worried about than anyone else in Hendrick Motorsports, because while I do think that he's been absolutely consistent, William Byron does not have a lot of playoff points. He's only got like 6 or 7 playoff points going into it. Now he'll receive a lot of playoff points if he remains in a position and points that he currently is at the moment. But I think that he'll be able to pick up those points. I don't think that he's going to have overall any trouble picking up those playoff points as well. So, like I said, the question I'm going to answer, has Hendrick Motorsports peaked? And do I think the Hendrick Motorsports will not be a championship contender? And I've heard people saying, oh, I think I'd rather pick a Chip Ganassi car of Kurt Busch than pick people like Team Penske. I'm sorry, but you have to look historically. And Brad Keselowski, and a lot of people are saying, I'd rather pick a driver like Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, and Ryan Blaney. I'm sorry, those guys don't have the playoff points. Brad Keselowski only has 7 playoff points right now, and if he finishes the position he is in, he only have 8 playoff points right now. Joey Logano has, I think, 7 or 8, maybe like 9 or 10 playoff points. I think he be up to about 15 playoff points when we get to the playoffs. And Ryan Blaney's the one that's kind of a little bit glaring. He has about 9 playoff points, but right now, if the playoffs were to start, he would be at about 7 or 8 playoff points right now. So I think that it's going to really matter is how many playoff points you do have. Denny Hamlin right now is more likely to have playoff points than any of the 3 Penske cars right now, than the Hendrick cars right now. So to me, I really don't think that Hendrick Motorsports is in trouble. Yes, Brad Keselowski is good at that track, and he's very similar to him potentially winning a championship. But let's be honest, Brad, other than New Hampshire, has not really shown winning consistency for a very, very long time. But that's just my honest opinion on that. Also, I think the Joe Gibbs cars are the most likely to maybe go after Hendrick Motorsports for the championship, to be perfectly honest with you. I think the Hendrick cars have the most potential to make a run at this. The Hendrick cars and Joe Gibbs cars and the Penske cars, I think, are the three teams to beat right now for the championship so far. We can see very, very surprises. But in my honest opinion, I do not think Hendrick Motorsports has peaked. I just don't think right now, at this given moment, they've peaked at this time. Anyway, that is it for today's NASCAR video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notification on so you're notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Support pages from Patreon as well. Links description below for that. And comment below your thoughts on today's video. Do you think Hendrick Motorsports is peak currently at the moment, or do you think that they're holding something back for the playoffs at the moment? I think I do, but let me know if you think that they're holding it back in the comments below. Anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys next time for some more great and awesome NASCAR content on the channel. Take care, everybody.